Today we're going to be checking out this Corsair DARKSTAR mouse, which is made for MMO and MOBA type games. This is going to be my first impressions video, and I'm going to have a dedicated review along with a software review after I've had more time to play with this thing. You're going to get the mouse in here packaged up nicely. Then we're going to get a little USB receiver right here. And if we pop this little cap open, you can see that there's going to be a braided USB-A to USB-C cable. It has a nice and cool aesthetic going for it, and as you can see, it has a lot of programmable buttons, especially on the side here. And I believe there's 15 total. You have a bunch right here, you have 2 on the side here, you have 2 up here, and then you also have the scroll click, scroll left click, and so scroll right tilt. And then of course you have your 2 pointer clicks up here. And you can tell by the shape of this mouse that it's going to be optimized not so much for FPS gamers, but more so MOBA and MMO gamers, where you need a lot more shortcuts than like a grenade and a knife button. But in MOBAs, you got a lot more controls that you want to have access to. Now in terms of build quality, this thing is like a 10 out of 10. It's so nice feeling. Every button feels firm, every button doesn't have a rattle, and the scroll wheel also feels firm and has this nice rubber grip on it. If I do a quick shake test for you guys, there's practically no wobbling parts or anything like that. The scroll wheel is firm, the buttons are on firm, and this thing, like I said, just feels nice. The back of the mouse has this nice rubberized matte finish. The clickers as well have the same material. The scroll wheel is rubber, and these clickers also have like this rubberized finish to them, which is really great. And I also like that they threw in a little grip on the center over here, which is going to help give your thumb that extra support, and you're going to have a good grip on this mouse. And speaking of grip styles, there's going to be 3 grip styles out there, but I think only 2 of them are going to work okay for the most part. There's going to be the palm grip, which is where your hand just kind of lays on the mouse, and this is going to feel pretty good overall to me. There's going to be the claw grip, which also feels really good to me, but then there's going to be the fingertip grip, which is where your fingers kind of float above the mouse and you don't have much pressure on the mouse. And I don't know if that's too good of a grip style, because it becomes a little difficult to access these side buttons over here while your hand is kind of floating above the mouse. Now, fingertip grip doesn't necessarily mean it's floating, but your fingertips are mainly where the pressure points are on the mouse, and I felt like it's better to have like more pressure on your palm area. That way your thumb has better access to all of the buttons along the side here, as well as every other button on the mouse. Now in terms of connection options, you're going to have 2 ways to connect this mouse to your device. One of them is going to be via Bluetooth, and you can see on the back of the mouse that there is going to be a little slider here that lets you switch to Bluetooth mode. If you move it to the right, it's now trying to pair to Bluetooth, which you can see it's kind of glowing blue right now, and the scroll wheel means it's pairing and we can pair it to our device. Or you can connect it via the dongle that it comes included with. In order to do that, you just move the mouse all the way to the left to the 2.4 gigahertz text here, and that is going to allow for it to connect via the dongle. And then the battery life on this device is going to last for 80 hours with the Bluetooth and 65 hours with the dongle. Now before we get into the RGB lights, here's a quick little click test for y'all to hear what this mouse actually sounds like. So the clicks overall sound pretty good. Not the quietest, not the loudest, somewhere in the middle, so you shouldn't have a problem with anyone being distracted, and the clicks overall feel pretty good and tactile. Now getting into the RGB lights, you can see that it has this nice line to it, and this is gonna be really cool looking. I like how it starts fairly thin over here, and then on the other side of the mouse it gets thicker, which creates this really cool effect that kind of looks like a lightsaber or something. And then you could also see that the Corsair logo lights up, and then on the front of the mouse you're also going to see that there's going to be 2 little lights that light up as well, and it's going to give another cool effect off. And the lights do look a little dim on this mouse in the daylight, and I think most mice do, but here's what it looks like in a more dark environment. So we have our main light turned off, and you can see what it looks like. It's very vivid and very cool up on the front here, and then the saber effect, this line looks really cool, as well as the Corsair is pretty vivid too. So in the Corsair iCUE software, there's going to be quite a bit of different lighting effects. If I go ahead and click on this, you can go ahead and start changing the different light profiles that are available. Some of these are presets, or you can go ahead and create custom ones. Now, we're not going to go into depth on lighting customization in this video, but I will be releasing a detailed video on how it all works, along with how the keyboard shortcuts and the hardware assignments, the DPI gestures, all that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that. So this has been my first impressions video with this mouse, and once I have the full review released, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to it right up here. So be sure to check that out. And with that being said, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.